Hi and welcome to Lois and Morgana Davidson Art. It's Lois here, and today I'm going to be painting another one colour painting in a sort of semi-abstract, fairly spontaneous style. I've had a lot of requests to do more of these after the last one that I did, and using salt to make these lovely suggestions of flowers and brambles and seed heads and things like that in the foreground. So I'm going to be painting this just using Payne's grey and just painting it fairly spontaneously, hoping to bring together the painting and sort of reacting to the paint, how it behaves on the page, and then sort of adding details according to what I see within the painting. So a fairly spontaneous painting. I'm using Saunders Waterford cold press watercolour paper. It's taped to my board, and my board's at an angle of about 20 degrees. I'm going to use a large wash brush and wet the page all over, but leaving some dry patches so I get soft and hard edges, and then I'll just play around with the Payne's grey and see what happens. So I've laid my board flat. Now that the washes are where I want them to be, and I've etched in my tree trunks and branches with the palette knife, I'm going to use some ordinary fine table salt and sprinkle it into the damp paint. It's important that the paint is just damp. If it's too wet, it could make quite a mess or have no effect, because the dampness will just dissolve the salt. If it's too dry, then you won't get any patterns happening. If it's just damp, then what will happen is the salt will push away the paint and you'll end up with these patterns that kind of are reminiscent of flowers or frost on winter twigs and things like that. And that's what I'm looking for. So I'll just leave it to dry and let the salt work its magic. Here it is completely dry, and I've raised the painting back up to 20 degrees. My paint must have been a little bit wet because it's the salt has sort of blossomed out a little more than I'd expected, but it is a fairly unpredictable medium. But I can make the best of that. After all, this is a spontaneous painting. It's an exploration and a sort of a practice piece and not a finished painting. It's just something that helps me to warm up ready before I start on a sort of a more prepared or planned painting. It's really nice just to let loose and to enjoy myself and just play with the paint. So I've got some lovely rich tube consistency Payne's grey. I'm going to introduce some darker values below these frosty brambles and weeds in the foreground, and that should just help them to stand out a little bit more. Can use a rigger brush just to get some structure and some twigs in amongst those pretty salt effects. I can just keep working on this until it looks the way I want it to. I think I'm just about done. I'm going to remove the tape. What this does is this allows me to look at it with fresh eyes and to be able to better judge whether the painting is finished or not, excuse me, or whether it just needs a little something to balance it up a bit. So removing the tape, and the painting itself looks a little bit more finished. I can see it as a sort of as a whole painting, and I think I just need to add a few more dots just to balance up the foreground a bit with these sort of suggested something and nothing tangle of frosty plants and sort of winter twigs sticking out of the snow in the foreground. And then I think I need to darken up the tree trunks here in the midground, and then I'll add a little bit of shadow as well, just below that. Put that shadow in, tiny little hint of it underneath the trees. That just sort of beds the trees into the snow a little bit more. With this kind of a grey sky, there's not many strong shadows, so I just want a little hint of that there. And again on this side with this tree, not too much, just enough to be sort of consistent. And as I say, to get those trees sort of sitting down in the snow a little better. So that's the finished painting. And so just one colour here, and it's Cotman Payne's Grey. I love using Cotman Payne's Grey for this. It's a student quality colour, but it's still a beautiful colour, very good quality. It's good and light fast, but what it does when you paint here like I've done with lots of water and lots of paint, the colours in Payne's Grey then split out. It's made from a black and two different blues, and you can see them splitting out on the page here, which adds a great amount of subtlety to this one colour painting. And it's one of the reasons that I choose Cotman brand paint when I do these single colour paintings. It's a really beautiful paint to use. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me paint that. I really enjoyed painting it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you'd like to see more of these single colour paintings. And thank you so much to everyone that has supported us recently on Patreon. We really appreciate you. And if you want to support the channel there, then follow the links below. Thanks again. I'll see you again soon. Take care and happy painting. Bye.